The biggest threat to community is culture. All people, regardless of race, ethnicity, background, male, female. The one thing we all want to be a part of, or want to be included in, and want acceptance to, and want to contribute to, is some form of community. And and that's not a bad thing because that's how we was wired. We made to want togetherness and to want to be part of a group, a larger group, and be a part of something bigger than ourselves. But the struggle, especially as a black man coming up in my community, is the struggle you see is the lack of community, and just community ain't an important concept no more. What we have substituted for community is culture, and doing it for the culture and being a part of the culture, I think has poisoned a lot of things that community was supposed to provide, a community can and should provide. And going back to the idea that we all want to be a part of some community, whether it's sports, whether it's music, whether it's being some form of artist, whether it's, you got men's community. Look at the podcast world. You got men, women, you got just all these different type of like sub communities that people want to be a part of, contribute to, and, find a tribe, so to say. So community ain't a bad idea at all. It ain't a bad concept. I think we've substituted it for a lesser version, which is culture. And culture ain't it, because what was good back in the day is bad now, considered bad now. What was bad back in the day is considered good now. And that's what culture does, because culture changes with the times. Whereas community, the things that's important to community, the things that a community values and respects and honors, those things, they firm, they stand, they pass the test of time, they go through generations. And me, as a follower of Christ, I believe we got the best concepts and idea and the opportunity to show what community looks like and to build communities in the way that God designed us. And I think when I think about community, you only can build community off common beliefs. I think the reason you see so much turmoil in communities, and the reason you see, communities fall apart, ain't no loyalty, ain't no respect, it ain't no value, it ain't no substance, is because you can't build community without some form of unity. And unity is built around a common belief system, it's a common belief or mindset. And again, when you look into the world, man, you just look out there and see what's going on. The most important community that God ever designed was the family unit. And you see that it's a war on family. It's an intentional disrespecting of, it's an intentional breaking up of, it's a celebration of community, families breaking up. It's a celebration of go chase your happiness over committing and being selfless in the form of family, in marriage. So it's some things that I want to touch on, man, when it comes to why I don't think culture can sustain community, and why I think community has to be built around a common belief. Even when you think from like a sports perspective, you can bring guys or women from all different backgrounds, all different ethnic groups, and all, like, maybe not even speak the same language, but they can work together on a sports team for a common good. Like, some of the greatest teams, they don't have one race of people. They don't have all people from the same background or demographic. So people can come together as long as their beliefs allow. They have the beliefs in that one common goal. And what is that in sports? That's a championship. We all willing to come together, be accountable, sacrifice, commit to the greater good, lift each other up. I'm strong where you weak, you strong where I'm weak, and have each other back in the form of a team and have community. But then when you look out into the world, you look out into neighborhoods, you look out into any ethnic group communities, and you see just foolishness, man. I'm speaking from, as a melanated man, I'm speaking for the black community. That's my experience. And I know how our community is, but other communities got it just as bad, and I ain't gonna be fooled by that, because I've talked to people from different ethnic groups, man. They deal with the same things we deal with. Children don't respect their parents no more. Family members don't get together and spend time no more. Like, marriages don't last no more. Like, men don't respect their wives no more. Women don't respect their husbands no more. Like, people don't come together. People don't support each other. People don't hold each other accountable. People don't pick each other up when they down. People make fun of each other when they down, kick each other when they down. Can't build and come together for a greater good and sustain one another. I can't run to you when I need it. You know what I mean? Like that's going on in every community, black, white, Hispanic, like Asian, whatever. So with that being said, again, like me, especially speaking more so from the black community experience, that's why I think it's so much trouble in the community because everybody got these hidden codes of the G code or keeping it real or being real. But it's like that ain't it, bro. Like I got a wife and kids now, so if we in a community together, the only thing I got to measure or hold you accountable to as a man or to trust you, you know what I mean, is off the G code or you keeping it real. But that like when your money a little funny or when you ain't, you hit a rough patch or hit a rough time in your life, the G code ain't gonna mean nothing. You may, you know what I mean? Like I may go from your homeboy to a victim or to prey. You know what I mean? Like you may come at me and try to finesse me or try to like, two-time me on something or some money. So we can't build nothing off the G code. And even the idea of being real or you a real one, like I can't trust you if my trust in this community is based on you keeping it real or you being a real one. That changes from Florida to Georgia to Texas to California to New York. What I think is real or what I think make you a real dude may not be what you think make you real. What I thought was real when I was 15 years old ain't the same thing that I think is a real dude or a real man. Now that I'm 34 and got a wife and kids. So those standards change, man, like similar to culture. It just changed with the times. Or, man, what I think make you a loyal, solid, great dude, you may go look on a podcast and your idea change overnight because you heard a cool thing on a podcast somebody said, or you may go through a rough patch where things just what you thought was real, like, hey, you willing to abandon that code. So that's why I say it got to be rooted in belief systems because if not, man, it's just too much flexibility for people to change their mind. I think disciples of Christ got the best blueprint and got the best concepts of what community is supposed to be built on because, like I said, culture changes with the time. But when I think about God's word, like it don't change. It don't change. Before I was born, that word stayed the same. After I'm long gone, it's still gonna stay the same. So within a community that's rooted on God's word, man, the things that we respect now, we're gonna respect them to our grave. The things that I respect, I can guarantee my children gonna grow up respecting because they're rooted in them. And that's how you have a community that support each other, that have each other back. Because you go into the culture gonna tell you as a man, as soon as you get into it with your wife, or she ain't moving how you think she should, culture gonna tell you to go on the gram and find another one. Or if she ain't making you happy, then you need to leave her. But that ain't what God said. God said, man, love your woman, pray, and unless you getting cheated on sexually, man, stand your ground and go through them seasons and build your relationship and stand firm in your family. And you supposed to have brothers and sisters that support y'all, that encourage y'all, that pray for y'all, that push y'all back into God, that push y'all back to one another, that have y'all back, that hold you accountable for your role, but also, inspire you to keep going and know that it's worth it. When you're dealing with something with your kids, man, I'm 34, like I said, I'm a father. The culture ain't giving me advice and giving me the blueprint and giving me wisdom on how to raise kids in these time periods. The culture influencing my kids to be on the internet, influencing my kids to not even believe what they is, whether that's male or female. The culture telling my kids to start getting out here dating, having sex in middle school. We're gonna follow the culture, but man, in God's word, I'm supposed to raise my child up. I'm supposed to be present. I'm supposed to teach him. I'm supposed to love him. Me and my wife supposed to be locked in together on raising this family. And your brothers and sisters in a community supposed to do the same thing. Like I pray for my people's kids, man. I pray for my homeboys' kids. Like I pray for their marriages. And when I'm going through with anything or a tough season within community, they do the same for me and they encourage me and they there for me and they always point me back towards my wife, not the next baddest woman or the next woman that can, replace her. So I think when you look at the benefits, the pros and cons of culture versus community outweigh it by a ton. But we got to be willing to take what come with community, and that's just, man, being of the same mind, having the same beliefs, because culture ain't gonna do it. Culture gonna allow you to change your mind today or tomorrow.